So guys, I think I have a pretty good understanding of what happened now. At least I'm starting to kind of put some of the pieces together. I did a little bit of analysis on the drive shaft and kind of looking through everything. And I think I might have it figured out, or at least an idea. And I'm kind of leaning towards just a U-joint failure. Not only that, but I think it was maybe just the U-joint cap came out or broke or something like that. I'm pretty interested in, I'll make a video and I'll show you guys all the damage and stuff. All the damage underneath the truck and how I think it went down, basically. Look at how shiny this is. It'll never break now. Alright guys, we're gonna do some stuff here. We're gonna get this thing back together. So I already got the rear little thingy dingy here in the back. So I'm gonna put that back in. I have the rear carrier assembly pretty much ready to go. I got this little thrust bearing thing on the back side. Thrust washer. I'm gonna reseat my, I'm gonna make a big mess out of this now that I wanted to show you guys.
You're going to make a big mess. You have to clean it up.
Yeah. I gotta find the other bearing here. Other piece of this bearing.
Why is there 4 of these big things?
Because there's 2 transmissions, bud. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take this sun shaft. I'm gonna throw this sun shaft in here, sun gear shaft. Make sure that's in all the way. I'm gonna take the center support. Make sure that's good. Put this over the top. Fully seat this thing down. This should be ready to go. I just have to watch for where the hole is. Hopefully I don't drop this thing. I gotta twist it. There's one off. Oops. That should be okay. I'm gonna double check by making sure I can get make sure I can get my bolt in there. Yeah, there we go. That's the right bolt. Doesn't want to go in. Maybe I'll pull it all out just to verify, because it did slip apart. The carrier assembly came off. Or the center support came off the carrier assembly. So I'll just double check and make sure it's seated all the way, I guess. Ah, there was my issue right there. That little bearing, piece of that bearing I was looking for that I pulled out of this one was still stuck on there. So now I bet when we throw this back in there, that bolt will go right in. Now let's try this. I'm a little more confident about this now. This thing needs to be like perfectly lined up. Yeah, there's one off. There we go. Now I bet that bolt will go in there. Yep. So see guys, it didn't feel right. Something didn't feel right. But we made it work. I'm going to do that one by hand. It went in kind of tough, but I want to show you. This was the little ring. Part of that 3-piece Torrington bearing, that extra ring was in there. So this was the thickness, that was the difference that I felt. Why that screw wouldn't, why that bolt wouldn't go in there. And it's hard to tell what I was looking at on the bottom of the, this assembly. It looked like this. So that's what the bottom looks like when I was looking at it. So it's really hard to tell the difference between that and that, for example. That's why I didn't catch it right away. But I caught it eventually. So that's good. Next we gotta do this beveled snap ring will go on the top. There, now it went in. Next we have the intermediate snap ring from the HD2 kit. Not having it today, boys. All right, now we'll do the this 2-to-1 servo band thingy dingy, whatever you want to call it. Now this is the tricky part here. You want to try to get the direct drum sprag in all of the clutches down here. So you got to line all those things up. This is a treat. Wonderful. Wonderful. There we go. Got metal on metal, that's good. Next we're going to do the forward drum. I gotta find my little washer though. Alright guys, we're back after an excursion of trying to find my little ringy dingy. It was actually on the bottom side of this drum because I had this drum sitting here with the ring underneath it, and it was on the bottom side of it, so I got it on the right top side now. And it should be good to go for this. I'm going to line up these clutches again. And hope when I toss this thing in there and drop it that everything breaks. probably the most difficult part is trying to line up all these clutches with the gears. That should be good. We got metal on metal there. That's good. Very, very good. So I should be able to do this fourth drum now. And there's a hole on the bottom that comes through. And then I should be able to do this little guy. Slam it in the hole. It's aluminum, so I'm going to be careful with it. If I was really fancy, I'd use my wrench, but alright guys, so that's pretty much it aside from putting this overrun drum in there. Which basically goes in like that. I just got to put the pump on, but I'm not going to put the overrun drum in yet or the pump on because this falls out. This isn't secured in there at all, and what I'm going to want to do, I'm going to load this in the truck and get my angles and everything right. I'm going to look at that and then I'll put that stuff in there. I'm also going to get a new shaft for this because I don't think that this shaft is going to be good anymore. So I'm going to order a new shaft, input shaft, because of all the weight that was hanging on it, and a new pump. But all this other stuff is going to be pretty much secured in there, so I'm not really too worried about that when I'm wiggling it around. So I'll get the valve body and stuff on and toss it in. But check this out. This is from the old transmission, the one that I bought that I'm rebuilding. This overrun assembly is completely seized up. This is a planetary gear set, and it's completely seized. You see how easy this turns? This doesn't turn at all. I couldn't get it to turn. So this thing's completely seized and locked up. And then this is the direct drum. Every single one of these freaking things is completely toast down to bare metal, and it looks like somebody threw this in a fire pit. So that thing was completely messed up. So maybe what I'll do is put this, I will actually assemble this. That's got to go in like that. Dilly dilly, right? You guys taught me all about dilly dilly, hey? And then I think what we'll do is take this pump. This is the pump that came on the rebuilder that I got yesterday. I'm going to get this O-ring off of here. There's like this sealing O-ring thing on there. I'm going to take this off because it's going to make it a lot harder to actually get the thing in and out. And then I'm just going to toss a couple bolts in it, just to hold the pump on. And this is not final assembly, guys. I'm going to pull this back out because I'm getting a new pump on it. But I want to have it weighted properly so I can flip it to put the valve body on, and I want to have the proper weight when I put it in the truck to test fit everything, because I'm going to actually measure all the angles and try to do it as properly as possible this time, just in case, because I did look at my like pinion angle and engine angle and stuff, and it's pretty bad. I'm sure it was good for the Ranger, like stock from the factory, but for what I'm doing with it now and plan to be doing with it, it's not really set up right. So I'll go over that in a different video probably. Alright, so I think I'm just going to leave it like that. We'll have it a little tight, but not all the way tight. So again, guys, to clarify, this is coming off and a new input shaft is going on. This is just temporary that I'm leaving it loose, so I have the proper weight in there when I put it in the truck. So I think I'm going to put the check balls in now. Should be 7 check balls. And then there's this one spot that you don't put it in for the HD2 kit. So I don't think I'm going to use that one, because that one's from the bad one, and he said it didn't have second gear, and that's for like the 1-2 low band. And I think I actually dropped the piece inside my bucket that I'm looking for. And I did drop it in my bucket. So I went in all the way. We went in deep, kids. I know this one was good, so this is the one I'm going to use. This was the good spring. Throw that in there. Make sure this is lined up right. You should be able to feel this band applying inside there, which it is. I'll put the spring in, put that on. And this was the good reverse servo setup with the HD2 kit spring in it. So I'll put that back on. Ugh. Squirt fluid all over my face. There's just nothing worse when a tranny than when a tranny squirts fluid on your face. You know what I'm saying, guys? It's always a bad day. I'm just going to get a couple of them going, started by hand. I'm going to be really careful with this. And I'm even going to use the right size. Alright, so we got everything pretty much done now. Got all the wiring hooked up, valve bodies on. Pretty sure I did everything the right way. So I think I'm gonna clean this pan out. Yeah, I don't even know. Maybe I won't try to put it in tonight. I think I want to get my pinion angle and stuff right, because it's actually, like if this was the front of the truck, it's actually tilted back like 6 degrees right now, which is not very good from, I guess, the little bit of research that I've done. So you want it tilted down so when the leaf springs torque, it'll straighten out, but mine is not like that at all. So that could have contributed a lot to some of this and weakening out the U-joints and causing them to fail. So the more you know, I guess. So I guess like it was probably good for just like a daily driver, regular V8 swap, kind of cool boy thing, but like actually putting a lot of power to it and trying to drive it really fast, probably not so good with the way everything was set up. So now I want to go through everything and probably I'm even considering redoing the engine mounts, going to like a solid engine mount. But I don't know yet. So I'm probably going to spend a little bit more time. I'd like to not rush it. There's a track day coming up in a week, but I think I might just not try to rush it and actually try to do something right. Instead of just trying to do it cheap and fast, I might actually spend a little time on it. Kind of did the whole budget thing, got that going and working, and I guess I could say it worked pretty well for the time that it took and how much it cost. But this is when we see parts starting to fail. Starting to add more power and doing stuff that it probably shouldn't be doing. So that's the idea, right? So stock Ford Ranger drive shaft with an added slip yoke on the front, 500 horsepower and 124 miles an hour. That's all she wrote. I'm sure you could probably get it better, but if you did angles and all that other happy shit, but if you're just an average schmuck doing it in your garage, you might not do that, which is kind of the idea. And I don't know where people get this idea that I'm like trying to be a mechanic, or I'm trying to come off as being a mechanic or whatever. That's not it, guys. I'm just some douchebag in the garage breaking stuff. That's what I do. I'm not a mechanic. I'm not trying to be a mechanic. I'm just some guy that's just doing stuff. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. I mean, if you look at the channel, my channel banner, it says average guy doing things. That's pretty much what it is. Not trying to be a mechanic, just trying to do some stuff, learn as I go, have some fun. This is like only the second engine swap I've ever done in my entire life, and first turbo build. So if that says anything, I'm obviously not trying to come off as like some expert who fucking knows everything about everything, so that's about it. For your entertainment only, basically. Alright, so this thing is pretty much together. Bada boom, took me about an hour, I think it was. An hour total. So I'm going to debate a little bit on this pinion angle stuff, how I want to do that. I might throw it in there, but I think I'll be done for now. And maybe want to start looking at like some shims or something like that and think about how I want to do the engine mounts. So, alright guys, well here it is. It's on the stand still, but it's pretty much ready to go in now. So I'm going to hold off on putting it in tonight. I just feel like if I do kit it in and bolt it in there, I'm going to kind of rush myself into getting a measurement and having a drive shaft built for it. And then I'll probably go back through and adjust the angle and pinion angle, and then the drive shaft measurement will be off by like 2 inches. So what I'm going to do now is wait, be patient, not try to rush it, and I'm going to get a new pump, get the shaft, possibly assemble it before I even put the thing in there. But first I want to do like the rear pinion angle and try to set up the engine angle and all that stuff. So I might put it in just to get the engine and transmission angle, but I'm also considering redoing the mounts. So I want to think a little bit more on that and try to do this section a little bit better. So I guess it was a good run. So for the stock Ranger drive shaft, I guess it was a pretty good run. I guess I can't really complain. The only thing I'm a little bit upset about is that it took out everything along with it. Judging by all the comments and everything that you guys are leaving, there's a lot of people that said that they've had similar issues with the U-joint breaking and it takes out the whole transmission, sometimes the engine. So I guess it's not really that uncommon for that type of a failure. And I'm pretty sure it was just the U-joint cap that popped off. So I'll make a separate video and I'll show you guys why I think that that's what happened. And I'll kind of go into some detail and show all that stuff. So that's the plan for now. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.